regrette rien.
Years ago, America passed the 28th Amendment, virtually enslaving anyone with special abilities into government service, or forcing them to live as ordinary citizens. With his team disbanded, America's foremost protector and hero for a century had been betrayed by the very institution he swore to serve. Erased from its history books, his every exploit was covered up. Now, in a place called Little Bighorn, the greatest hero America has forgotten will come out of retirement to take down the very institution he once served, assembling a new team of superpowered individuals wielding abilities never before witnessed. In a country that has banned its heroes, it's time to root for the criminals. Let's start a new revolution.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I want to know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there! Hey there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Welcome to the What's Next show. This is our Monday show where we discuss what's coming. We know what is, and we know what is sucks. And so we're talking about what's next. Anyway, so I have a partner in crime today, Mr. James Lee. You may know him as the author and the artist of Steins, the comic book, and the novel series. Anyway, welcome to the show, Mr. James Lee.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
So,
well,
what's the topic for today?
Topic of today is citizen journalism. But right before we get into that, I have a new segment I'm introducing today called Is It Good? And today, in the hot seat, if you might have saw a little bit earlier, is...
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien.
So what is
that is Judex. This book right here. Okay. Now, this was put out by Global Frequency Studios. The writer was Michael Odin from Nine Realms, the Elysian Fields, SPQR's Wild Adventure, and was the writer of The Embrace. Hopefully, book 2 will be coming shortly. I really want that one. But this one, this intrigued me when I first saw it. Have you heard of this one?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, Judex is actually a old pulp character that actually predates the Shadow by a few years. And a lot of people see some concepts that were introduced in Judex that kind of like went into bled into the shadow. Well, Judex is the judge, and so very enigmatic character. Has a lot of things in common. But Michael Odin actually kind of like, took Judex and like put some shadow concepts into Judex. And so what you got is kind of a hybrid, if it's like if Judex was told through the shadow lens. And so it has a lot of things that weren't in the original Judex, but were kind of like shadow-esque, as it were. And so what you got is kind of a hybrid of sorts. It's really interesting storytelling style that did completely black and white. Okay. Really beautiful images. This one right here is really awesome. Look at that.
So this takes place during 42, 43?
Yeah, the occupation of Paris. This particular story
is. This is going to be 43. Okay, so
yeah,
okay. Got it.
Yeah, and so this is, of course, the bad guys are going to be, the Germans.
Yeah.
Those Yahtzee guys. We'll just say that. But he's got a lot of interesting concepts in it, where, he's got things that appear to be supernatural, but then again, you get the idea that he knows how to cloud men's minds, and so some of it might be hypnosis. But what isn't hypnotic is this badass gun called the Widow. That is not hypnosis. This is an interesting campaign in that, the master of the merch package, Neff from Global Frequency, really went overboard with this one. You could get Judex's cape. You got the Judex mask was available.
Right.
And pardon?
No, I mean I understand what they did with the campaign, but a lot of things on the campaigns, they're good bonus stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't deliver with the actual book, it can be let down. So that's the thing. If the book stands
everything was pretty much 3D printed. Everything was handmade, or either printed by them or made by them. Like the Mavericks merch packages are mostly produced by, people that Neff is either Neff or people that Neff is very closely connected to. And so everything did come out on time. He also got the coin. It's a coin that he flips, to make judgments. And that was available in the campaign also. But it's just pretty cool. Left it open for later. I believe Neff said that he is going to run this on FMC. He wasn't happy with what Indiegogo did with the campaign.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are not happy with Indiegogo.
I think that's going to come later. But what you get in this book is a lot of really unique imagery. The prose is very well written. You can tell that Odin did his homework. Of course, Odin does his homework. Got a couple people over here. All right. So, all right, got Neff over here and Neon Rose Publishing. So the date is on the first page. Yeah. All right. Okay. There it is. January 21st, 1941, occupied Paris. I probably should have read that. Yeah. 1941. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. You're right. It's right there. It's got. You can tell it's very, very well. Very well thought out. Very well. Homework was definitely done. Every I was dotted. Every T was crossed. And I'm going to give this a high recommend. Neff, while you're here, are you planning on running this on FMC at some point, or is that just a one and done campaign? Because it seems like you set up a sequel, and I'm really, desirous of a sequel. But before that comes in, let me go ahead and give my rating. What did I think about this?
You're muted.
All right. That is 5 carrots out of 6. Now, it didn't quite get to a 6 for me, but it was right there, right on the edge of it. But I didn't really find anybody to plug into, or find somebody that I quite identified with enough to get to 6. But very high 5, extremely high 5, right on the edge. But if they hoping that they'll run a campaign on this in the future, so we can get more. I believe it's closed Indiegogo. So, all right, no more books to come. But I said there are more books to come, but I don't think we'll be running another crowdfunding website. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Plan is definitely to do more stories. I'm glad you enjoyed the book, though. All right, still open on Indiegogo. All right. I should have checked on that. I thought it was closed. All right. I'll make sure I get that link. I believe you're closing it in April. Okay. Yeah. All right. Definitely need to check on that. All right. Got another guy coming in right quick. Mr. Jones Longbox. What's up, John?
Hey, how you doing?
You doing, dude?
Oh, geez, I look like a maniac.
You there?
John, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I said I look like a maniac.
There
you
you
hear
are.
me?
That's the
Yeah, I
beard.
got
That's
that
the beard. Okay. Beard yeah, I can hear you.
What are we talking about?
Okay. Just can't find it because of the shadow ban. Yeah. Judex. Did you get that one?
No, again, things. You. I think it was you tweeted it yesterday. It was the first I saw of it. It looks awesome. Could you put the link in the chat or something like that? I'll definitely
It is
check that
very
out.
awesome.
Jeez.
Yep. Still available
I gotta
on
comb my hair.
Indiegogo. Well, okay. Now, if you guys, I believe you guys are both. You both have wrenches. Well, you do. Let me make sure. Let me give Michael one right quick as moderator. All right. Okay, you have a wrench too, Michael. If one of you wants to put the link in, I will pin it to the top.
How you doing, James?
All right.
I'm doing
Yeah,
good.
just
I'm doing good.
if you guys want to drop a link, I will pin it to the top, and I'll make sure I put it in the description later. But
Go comb my
just a
hair,
really
too.
good book. It's yeah, you're fine. You're pretty. All right. Anyway,
I've been home
yeah, I
all
highly
week.
recommend this one.
I've been being a
Oh,
slob.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A pin message. There we go. All right, it's pinned to the top. Thanks, Neff, for dropping that link. So that is going to be available till April. So jump on that. That is
James,
a
that's
really,
your
really
book?
high recommend.
Was that John?
This is your book, Judex?
No.
I am,
Oh,
I am the author and creator of the Steins universe, the horror universe. My books are on Indiegogo. Not on Indiegogo. My campaign closed back in December, but my novels are on Amazon. You can get them in audiobook, paperback, hardback, like that.
okay. I know.
Yeah, my horror books. I actually made it to number 13 on the New York Times bestseller list in horror.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm way up there. No, I'm working on a new book, a new novel. It's an isekai, if you know what that is. It's dark fantasy, and it's starting out pretty good. Hopefully, I'll have it out in 2025, and we'll go from there.
All right. Awesome. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. Also, the Judex comic is still available to April, so I will highly recommend it. It had some really incredible tiers that I've never seen anywhere else, including a replica of a gun, the Widow, which is the gun for Judex. In fact, it's got the whole thing. It's got the cape, it's got the mask, it's got the gun. So if you want to cosplay as Judex, there you go. All you need, I think, is the hat. but maybe a suit. But anyway, that's all available on that one campaign. So yeah, check that out. Highly suggest it. I highly recommend it. All right. So today, the subject I wanted to talk about today is citizen journalism. Okay. Now, my theory is that this citizen journalism really took hold around about the time GamerGate was happening, about a decade ago. Either of you guys remember GamerGate or involved in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, the joke of GamerGate. Oh boy, that was a farce to begin with. You know, and they're trying to bring it back up since the thing with what is it, Sweet Baby Inc. or whatever that company is. So they're trying to say, oh, it's GamerGate Part 2, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Bottom line is this: when it comes to citizen journalism, okay, citizen journalism right now is basically saving us from getting propaganda. John, you back?
Yeah, I got a phone call. I took myself off.
Back?
I didn't want to noise.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. No
But
problem.
here's the thing: without this kind of journalism, you'd be getting, and I'm going to call them out, MSNBC. They put out that statement about if Trump won, there was going to be a bloodbath, which was an utter, complete lie. He never said that. It was never meant. That was never there. Now the whole thing is being released. It's showing how corrupt the mainstream media is, and you have these citizen journalism, and some of the biggest ones, like the quartering and stuff. That's citizen journalism. They're coming in. They're saying we're going to hold you, media like New York Times, Washington Post, all of them accountable, and it's really making them look stupid. And you're seeing what's happening at the New York Times and the Washington Post and everybody with being laid off because the money that was getting pumped into them for advertisements are like going, you're lying to the American people. We're pulling our funds. And so they're losing money left and right. I mean, they're really losing money. I know the Washington Post just did a major layoff. You know, I know they did. I think New York Times is fixing to do the same thing. They're all in trouble, and they know it, and they can't.
Well, I would say that the GamerGate thing, when it happened, it was a major mask off moment for journalism, because there was there was no even pretension to being unbiased. There was absolutely no doubt in anybody's mind that these people had taken sides, and once you take a side, then you have ceased being a journalist. Okay, and
you become propagandist.
And so basically, what happens is you know, it's become team sport, and there was clear, you know, people had done their, done their research, and they presented the information, and it was very clear what was going on. I've done your job for you. Report on this. And then having the same outlets basically not only deny the information that was handed to them, very clear information, very, the provenance was there, but they wrote hit pieces on the people who presented the information. And suddenly
the thing about it is now, and the thing about it is now, these websites that went after everybody, they're getting shut down. They're going out of business because the problem they have, and this is the problem that CNN has, and this is what problem everybody has. They had a boogeyman. Okay, they had a boogeyman, and then when the boogeyman turned out to be nothing, they had nothing to go with. So there's no more incentive to go to those websites or try to find out what the story is or anything when there's nothing there. So why, and I'm going to say this, and to understand something, I am a Warner Brothers investor. That means I sit through all the meetings and like that, so I know what's going on in Hollywood. The bottom line is this. These hit piece propagandist websites like Kotaku and the other ones, they shot themselves in the foot when they took a side.
Yeah.
It didn't matter which side they took. When they took a side, they shot themselves in the foot because once it ends, they don't have anything to fall back on. And this is where all the money decides to get up and move.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing it. You're seeing companies say, well, we want the IP, but we don't want the employees, so we're going to lay everybody off. You got 30 minutes to get out of the office.
Which just happened to Deadspin.
That's exactly what happened to Deadspin. I mean, exactly what happened to Deadspin.
If you don't know who Deadspin is, that's the one that wrote the hit piece on the kid, the Kansas City Chief kid with the headdress.
Well, that's just one of their. That's just one of them. But yeah, that was most egregious. And the thing about it is, here's the thing that people need to understand. Yes, Deadspin got sold.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, depending on what the lawsuit says, the parent company can still be the one being sued.
Right.
Okay. Right. It's not if they had a smart attorney, it should have never said Deadspin on it. It should have said the parent company.
Yeah.
Because why? Because when Deadspin spilled off and they fired everybody off the thing, the new company can say, we don't know nothing about it, so we're not going to do that. But if you have it where it goes to the old company is still on the hook. And of course, they'll make a deal under the table. But yes, it cost Deadspin everything. Deadspin's done. It's just like Vice. Vice is pretty much completely done. Mm-hmm. Vice is completely shut down. They're done. Their history. And they have no, absolutely none in programming. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants anything to do with them. So they're done. These companies, and I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised that Kotaku and the Mary Sue ain't shut down yet.
Yeah,
I'm expecting both of them to go down by the end of the year. Especially,
like Jezebel's gone.
Yeah, they're all gone.
A lot of them are gone.
And they all lived and died for Comicsgate. They all lived and died to go after the quote unquote toxic gamer, because toxic gamers need to be held accountable and banned from these things. And I'm like, really? You came into this. And I'm going to bring up something else. Because I was seeing posts about how D&D back in the 80s and 90s were toxic toward women. That's a bold-faced lie.
Right.
That is 100% lie.
That is garbage. That is garbage.
I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because I was around back then, and I'll tell you this. Anytime a girl showed up, she had two things. One, she had all the books because she had all the money. And two, every guy bent over backwards to make sure she was happy because we were all broke. That's a fact. And I can tell you this, that's how two of my friends ended up getting married, was because the girls were in the gaming group. Okay. And that ain't no lie either.
Well, I mean, if anybody with boobs showed up to a nerd thing, I mean, they're not going to be like gatekeeping, you're goofy.
No. For a girl. They're going. I mean,
that girl is going to be treated like a queen.
Queen. Exactly. I mean,
and
it did not matter where the game was at. It could be in the back of a comic book store. It could be at a convention. But you get one girl, and if she, and heaven forbid, she's actually really cute. All the hell. I mean, everybody's out the door going getting drinks and chips and everything. They're doing everything they can to keep her there. They are doing everything. I am not making this up. They're doing everything they can.
No, you're not. You're not. That's why it was all garbage.
I don't know who came up with this garbage about, girls were never accepted.
Well, what happened was, this is my theory. What happened was during the lockdowns, tabletop gaming just went through the roof. It exploded.
It did.
And it suddenly had cultural power. And so here come the locusts. And the first thing they do is claim, we were kept out. So you got to let us in. And then the next step is to say, while we're in here, you're doing a lot of these things that offend us, so we need to change that. And so, and then the next step is it's like, well, you're not going to change, so we're going to kick you out the door and take us over.
I gotta take care of my dog.
That's all right, no problem. But that's pretty much the three steps that they take to destroy everything. Is basically, the first thing they do is like imply that in some way, shape, or form you have closed the door in their face, or you have kept them out. And then what happens is your poor little inclusive heart says, well, we don't want that to happen. No, we don't want people to be kept out, because we're all, kind of like, oh, uh-oh, let me add a firebrand. Here we go.
What's up, dude?
Hey, we're talking about citizen journalism. I know you have a few things to say. Anyway, but so basically what they do is they use your good heart. They use the kindness that you've got in you to force their way through the door. Well, you don't want to be, you don't want to close the door in anybody's face, because they know we're all like, we grew up on the outside, and they know that we're all like, trying to find our group, and so what they do is they use that to get their way in the door, because you're a reasonable person, right? You don't want anybody to get left out. And so what they do is like, well, I got left out. And you're like, oh, wait, okay, here's the door. Let me open the door to you. And then just go from there.
This too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I started D&D back in the 80s. So when D&D came out, it was for the outcasts. I mean, it really was. We were the guys that nobody wanted to be around, nobody cared about, nothing like that. So it was our stick.
Yeah.
But what happened was you had one person. And I'm going to bring up a scenario. This is true. This is what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
Warhammer. Nobody gave a rat's ass in Hollywood about Warhammer until Henry Cavill said he played it, and then all hell broke loose. Okay, I'm being serious. All hell broke loose on Warhammer, and the first thing that was posted was, "Warhammer is too masculine. There's nothing for women to do," and I was like, bullshit. And I brought up, the sisters, that organization that's in Warhammer. And I was like, this is where the bullshit comes from, is when you get one big superstar that's either in the D&D or something like that. All these people come in going like, well, this isn't right. This needs to be done. And we're sitting here going like, wait a minute. We were here first. We're having fun. You want to come into our thing. You need to adjust to what we're doing. Not say you need to get out of here because we're here now. That's the thing. That's the situation that's going on in a lot of gaming.
There's this like cartoon. Yeah, well, there's this cartoon where it's like, we all love the thing. It's like, well, here's more thing, and then this person back here says, I don't like the thing, and then the person's like, well, why don't you like the thing? It's like, well, change the thing and I'll like it. And so they're like, I changed the thing, and then the people that were like, I love the thing, are now like, well, I don't like the thing anymore, so I'm going elsewhere. And then he turns around and looks at the person that said they didn't like the thing. Well, here you go. And they're like, I never wanted the thing. And
don't forget about the pressure by the critical theory people too. It's like, well, you need to have rainbow hair or something, or you need, what is it? I think right now in the tabletop space, they're rehashing the wheelchairs and RPG stuff. It's like,
here's the funniest thing about that. Because we had people, and so I'm a veteran, and we used D&D and stuff for that to help disabled veterans cope with what was going on. Okay, it gets them out of mindset.
Yeah,
I never had anybody in a wheelchair want to play somebody in a wheelchair in a D&D game.
No,
never. It never happened. They wanted to be the most powerful tank. They wanted to be the biggest, strongest thing because it got their mindsets out of it. This notion of you've got to have inclusivity is BS garbage.
BS.
Because in a fantasy world, you want to be the best, not disabled.
Well, at the same time, though, what happens is these people that are infiltrating these spaces, they suddenly get all these. They suddenly ride in on these hit pieces that were done by journalists. Okay, journalists are suddenly like reporting on all the all the ways that people were trying to come into the space were denied access, and it's all garbage because they're never quoting anybody that actually was in the space or anybody on the inside of the group. They're always quoting.
They never talk to the.
They're always talking to the victim or quote unquote victim. You know, it's
The way
just
I put it
completely
is this.
subjective.
If you take any of these people that are reporting all this crap and you put them into an actual game with actual players, they're going to sit there going like, "Oh, this is a blast! I'm having a great time. I'm having this and this," and then and it's going to complain.
Right.
But instead, they're reading different articles, going like, "Oh, this is wrong. This we need to do this. We need to do this," and we've seen this
Right.
with gaming all the way since the '80s. We have seen the attacks. It's always been there, and the problem is now people are paying attention, saying this is BS. Go away. And especially that you know they had,
also the biggest problem.
you know
Well, the biggest problem they have now is they can't control the narrative anymore.
yeah, that's the whole
And the
point.
reason why is they burned through all their capital. The journalists have burned through all their capital.
Yeah.
Nobody, even their own side, believes them anymore. I mean, even people on their own side don't use them as news sources anymore.
Yeah, they don't
Because
see
they
it.
know even though it's slanted in their direction, they know it's bunk. Okay,
You know,
because everybody
no one-
knows the truth.
Did you know no
That's
one?
that's the beauty of it. Everybody
Sony.
knows the truth.
Did you know no one at Sony or Nintendo will talk to a quote unquote gaming journalist anymore? They don't see them as journalists.
No.
Not only that, but the anime awards, the big awards,
Yeah.
they took out anime journalists. They're not welcome anymore.
Yeah.
They're not wanted anymore because they did so
No.
much harm. They did so much harm. You know.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing the games turning around. Because here's what's happened, and this is sending in Hollywood. They went this path, and it cost them so much money. And at the bottom of the bottom line is this: if you own a business, doesn't matter what business you own, if you're not making a profit, your doors will not stay open. It's
Right.
not going to happen. Because
Well,
when
the
you
siren
look at
call of ESG and of
the whole
the
thing,
people.
the whole thing is falling apart now. As you're seeing more and more companies get rid of their DEI, ESG, CTI people, they're getting rid of them. They're laying them off. They're like, these jobs are not needed. We don't need you. It's cost us more money than we've ever had. And you can. And I'm going to bring up a company that I can take apart real quick, and that's Disney.
Everybody can take apart Disney.
No. But you're going to see something. As an investor, I look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Disney has lost $21 billion in the last 6 months.
Billion.
Okay.
With the B.
That
Good.
that is an unbelievably bad market. Okay. Everything they have done has completely collapsed. Their movies have collapsed. Their TV shows have collapsed. You want to know how bad Disney streaming service is? They ran to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, if you didn't know that, they ran to Warner Brothers to try to set up something between ESPN and Warner Sports.
A bundle, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, a specific channel.
I see.
A whole new thing. Yeah, so they can merge together because Disney is panicking on their money. And the problem that Disney has right now, and this is the big one, is this proxy vote.
Yeah.
The proxy vote that's going to come up, and they already know what's going to happen. They already know Peltz, Perlmutter, and all them are going to get in.
The interesting thing, though, is how do we know all this stuff? How do we know all this stuff?
I'll tell you exactly how you want to know. Because Peltz, no. When you have the investors get up and go to the media, and I mean investors get up and go. I mean, I've made several videos of why I've been pissed off about Warner Brothers. Okay, and believe me, I sent a letter to David Zaslav because as an investor, it's my right. I can send a proxy letter to him saying this is what I agree with, this is what I don't agree with. And if you notice something, the minute they had that board meeting, Ruby was gone. If you didn't know, Ruby is out. It's gone.
What is Ruby?
The cartoon, that group that does Red versus Blue and all that stuff, That whole studio, that whole thing is gone. It's done. It's over. They're done. Okay. My proxy letter was real simple. If it's not making a profit, cut it immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, shut it down immediately.
Well, the thing about it though is you didn't really follow up on the chain, but what I meant is the reason why we're as a fan base, everybody is so well informed is because everybody can be a journalist now. Everybody can follow, everybody. We have the internet, we have inside connections, we have.
That's the whole point.
I mean, people like the D files, on Film Threat. Okay, I mean the D files on Film Threat. If you haven't read through those things, then you need to go right now to Film Threat and look through it.
Well, the thing about it is,
because
I don't need to.
Basically.
I don't need to go to Film Threat.
Well, you don't need it, but I'm saying everybody else, James. Everybody else is as informed and on the inside.
From Warner Brothers about proposed stuff. I mean, I can pull up my email right now and I can just show you. I've got a list of emails from Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, serious. I mean, I've got a ton of lists of statements they've had to make to the FDIC, what their projects are going to be. I mean, I know everything they're going to do. I know everything Warner Brothers is going to do. And I can tell you
that's awesome, but I'm talking about people on the street. Right. I mean, everybody, ordinary people that don't have that in their email files.
Right.
But basically, it's because it's gotten out of the journalism space and it's gotten into like, where everybody, anybody can report on this stuff, and it's not.
And the thing about it
with the D files in particular,
you know what I'm saying? People that are higher up. And what I mean is, used to be a stockholder like myself would not go public and talk about anything. We would not, especially in the 80s and 90s. A stockholder, you would not be able to find out who the stockholder was unless they were doing a major sale. That's it. But now you have stockholders. You have stockholders coming out at Disney. You have stockholders coming out at Paramount. You have stockholders coming out at Warner Brothers. When the stockholders get pissed, there's going to be a change. Because bottom line is this. The stockholders are the real power in Hollywood. And the stockholders will sit back as long as they're making profit. But after a year of a complete and utter garbage year, the stockholders are saying, that's it. You had your chance. You blew it. Now there's going to be change. And now the stockholders are going.
Well, at the same time, though, not talking particularly about the stockholders, but talking about, just ordinary everybody, people on the street now have access to a lot more information, And we know from what's happening inside Disney, all the people that got in control, the DEI people who basically terrorized and nitpicked and basically kicked out all the white males in particular. And all the Imagineers are gone. All of the best animators are gone, and they were forced out simply because they're white and male. And this is from internal documents.
Hold on a minute.
And where did they go? They went to.
Hold on a minute.
They went to.
Hold on a minute. There were not all.
Go ahead. I'm holding.
All white male. They were not all white male, because I can tell you where at least 9 went. Okay. 9 of them were Asian.
Okay.
And I can tell you where they're at right now. If you saw the movie Belle, that's where they went. They went to work on Belle. They went to work. Yeah. They also went to work for a Chinese company in Hong Kong that is putting out some of the greatest anime on television right now. They have options.
But they also went to Illumination.
So that I'm saying where the animators are going. And these are also the white animators too.
Yeah.
There's now Korea, China, Japan, Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. There is places now where animators can go away from Disney and Paramount, where they're not just held down by them. And they're putting out as good as animation as Disney is. And if you notice something, this year, the Oscars went for
Better.
animation. to a
Better because they
Japanese-
used to put out the animation at Disney.
That's right. They went
Better.
to Japan. That's right. They left. Japan,
Yep.
Disney does not hold grasp on animators anymore. You know, Don Bluth
Right.
tried this back in the 80s. If you remember Don Bluth, he tried this back in the 80s. Remember? Armin, remember that when Don Bluth came out and he did Secret of NIMH and all that? He tried to take on Disney straight up. He really did.
Huh.
But he had some bad projects.
Yeah.
But now even DreamWorks cut their staff by 1/2. You didn't know that. That
Yeah.
came out 2 days ago. But now the Japanese companies are putting a whole lot better animation stuff out. They're killing it. It's just like the manga. The manga is completely obliterating comics.
Well, at the same time, you know, all those Imagineers, they went and worked for Universal.
Yeah, but
And,
they're Universal.
Universal's about to put out one of the greatest theme parks that's ever
Right,
been in America. They're about,
right.
and there's 5 of them happening almost simultaneously. And
They're doing
I've
a
seen
small one here.
the artist renderings of them.
Yeah,
They
they're
are going to
looking at-
kick Disney's butt out of
Disney-
Orlando. I mean,
Disney. What happened with Disney, and this is what really happened. The original Imagineers died off. They all died because remember they started back in the 50s and 60s. So they actually started with Disney back in the 30s. So they're all gone. They're all gone. The second generation is gone. Now we're in the 4th generation, and the problem is the 4th generation does not have respect or love of the old Disney, and they have trashed the new Disney into this mess. And now when you have a company like Pixar who is now showing losses at their bottom line, that is not good at all. And with the failure of Disney animation in their last 3 movies, they have a problem as well. And when you have those kind of problems, and this is where the independent reporter comes in, they can't hide it anymore because the independent people are pushing
can't
it out.
hide it. No.
You know, the truth is, here's the truth, not what NBC's saying. Here's the truth.
Mm-mm.
And I'll tell you the one that caught me
No.
is when MSNBC's business journalist, the business guy, came up and he dropped the thing about Goldsman Stacks, which, if you don't know who that is the company that actually finances the movies. That's where they get their money from, that one spot. And what happened was Disney's 2 projects. One was a Star Wars project. The loan was called in. That means it was pulled. That means all finances for that project was pulled by the bank. They saw it as a nonprofit loss of money, so they pulled the loan.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good for a studio. When that hit, everybody knew Disney was in trouble. Everybody knew they were in trouble. And that's why you've noticed there's not much coming out of Star Wars because they keep
what do you think about that, Aaron? We kind of
No, that's all right. I'm listening. I
we
like
kind of
his
shut you out of the
perspective.
conversation, man. What do you think about that?
I'm absorbing it all. I don't know. I think it's like
Yeah, I
for
do too.
citizen journalists, the citizen journalist stuff. It's everybody's got a camera now. Everybody can see for themselves and everything. You know, real media is decentralized. And like you were saying earlier before I got on, it's like way back, like not just GamerGate, but like the Occupy movement and all that stuff. Or like with the Rittenhouse guy. You know, I knew what was going on almost directly because people were there with their cameras posting it, you know, and I happened to, you know, sometimes I know.
Or Nicholas Sandman before him. I remember Nicholas Sandman. You know, that narrative went around the world that this kid was like being disrespectful. And then all of a sudden people are like leaking all online the reverse perspective and seeing this guy basically walk up to this kid beating his drum and the kid's just like doing it out of self-defense. That was holy crap, what's happening here?
But they just needed the knee-jerk reaction. You see, you forget that about the Smith-Mundt Act. I don't know if you've heard of that, but basically it allows media to say whatever the fuck they want, especially propaganda. So they can twist. They don't have to explain. They don't have to investigate. all they have to do is just say what they want to say.
No.
And
then when they have to apologize, it's buried at the end of at the end of an episode, real quick, real fast, or it's put in print on the back page of the very back page of a newspaper or something like that. They hide their apology.
Yeah. By the way, we were wrong. Yeah.
Because the damage is already done. They've already put the narrative out there. Even if they got to apologize, the narrative is already out there.
Russia collusion, guys.
Oh, I know.
Fucking years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, and you all knew the truth from the beginning?
They knew it. And they still tried to
I guess what we're talking about is narrative control.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
we're talking about narrative control. They've lost it. Yeah, they've lost narrative control.
Yeah, they lost a lot of it. I mean, they really have.
And I might be a bad source for this, just because like I went away from dinosaur media probably, I mean, for most part a while ago. So it's pretty rare for me to enjoy anything that's coming out. I haven't seen a Marvel movie, I don't know, in a very long time. I don't remember the last one it was.
You haven't missed much.
Right.
I mean, the only things I'll say that are sure to be entertaining is either Godzilla or Dune. That's it.
Yeah.
Godzilla
well, I did see -1. -1 was really good. It was probably the best movie of last year, and the year before that was probably the Viking and or the Norseman and Maverick were both amazing. So, but this year I don't know of anything that's coming out, and I'm not really interested. I'll wait.
I mean, I went and saw Dune 2.
Well, the Ghostbusters is coming out later this week, or later on this month. I'm
kind of waffling on the Dune and the Ghostbusters one. The last one was just okay. My family liked it a lot, and I'm not trying to poo-poo on it or anything. But like, I don't know, just nothing's really. Oh, that looks so great! I want to go see it. Maverick was, the Norseman was, and -1 was. So
yeah. And like I said, I'm going to go see the new Godzilla movie that comes out in 2 weeks because why? I'm a Godzilla fan. I grew up with Godzilla. I've got every Godzilla movie that's ever been made, even the really bad ones.
Yep.
And to me, it's a Godzilla movie. Go see it. It's a Godzilla movie. You like Godzilla? Go see it. Even if there's some stupid stuff in it, it's going to be stupid anyway.
There's also you have to. It would definitely, to be balanced here, we do have to talk about the dark side of citizen journalism. And that is, and it's just starting to coalesce. It's just this last little bit, maybe the last 2 years. Me and Aaron have definitely talked about this, but we're starting to see a lot of algorithm chasing going on, and in that, YouTube sets the algorithm, and there's people that
set the conversation
hop
too.
onto that and chase it, and push and basically push it.
But now,
and
Google
so basically they're doing a lot of work. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, and
I can see the.
T Bunny's audio is a little off, James. Sorry.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I'm sorry.
But
I apologize.
When it comes to Google and YouTube, they're now getting their own in trouble because now they're getting lawsuits, and their lawsuits are from internal, and it's come back to bite them, especially when Google decided to do that big layoff, and when you start laying people off who are, and I'm going to say it, diversity hires, they're the first ones to sue because they got laid off.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on right now with Google, Microsoft, everybody. They did a lot of this DEI hiring, and those are the first ones to go. And now those people are saying, you fired me because of my race. I'm going to sue you. And now here comes the lawsuits.
Yep.
And it totally blew up in the face. If you hire,
live by the sword, die by the sword.
if you hire people based on the quality of their experience and their work, you're fine. But when you start playing this other stuff, which is, and I'm going to say it, against federal law, it's going to come back to haunt you in the end. And that's what's happening.
Well, interesting. California, during the George Floyd thing, actually put a law on their books that said that you cannot discriminate against hiring based on race, but they didn't specify the race, and so California, exactly, and so because of these DEI documents that have been leaked, now they're open for lawsuits, and they're getting sued right now by white employees that are getting
Well, yeah,
shuffled out the door.
It's
you know.
happening everywhere because it's real simple. State law cannot
Yeah.
trump federal law, and federal law
Right.
says you cannot hire somebody based solely on their sex, race, religion, that stuff. You cannot do that,
Yeah.
and they did it, and now it's biting them. And like I'm gonna make a company, Starbucks, cost them $27 million because of what they
Yeah.
did.
Yep.
Good.
They got rid of this. They got rid of this white chick over the whole.
Yeah.
Black gentleman
That's,
wanting
you know
to.
what? That's like less than a day's earnings for Starbucks. So screw them.
Well, no, this actually hurt them pretty good because it wasn't
Even
that's
better.
just one. That's just one lawsuit. Now
Right.
they've got like 4 or 5 more. So they're
Yeah.
talking probably this is going to end up costing them pretty good penny, and
Mhm.
they're having to shut stores down. So now they're shutting stores down, and it's really hurting them. The other problem that you have,
Taste the poison.
I mean, it's just you don't remember. But this is where your citizen journalism comes in, because when you get to the
Mhm.
mainstream journalism, they try to manipulate this and everything like that, and the citizen journalism throws it right back in their face, saying, "No, you're lying."
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's
And not only do they say you're lying, they say this is video evidence that you're lying. This is documented evidence that you're lying, and these are people's actual, testimony that you're lying. And so, tis the citizen journalism, because they're so lazy in the mainstream, they just pick a narrative and go with it.
No, they're not. They're
And
not
so-
lazy. They have a agenda-driven
Yeah.
media.
They have marching
There you go.
orders.
It's agenda. It's agenda.
And MSNBC's marching orders is real. I mean, it's plain to see what theirs is. Number one, anything conservative we hate must be destroyed, must be obliterated. Anything that is traditional must be destroyed. And we don't care who we hurt. We don't care who it is. We're going to force it down everybody's throat. And that's why
anything nationalistic, anything traditional. Yeah, exactly. That's all that has to come down.
Is their viewership is so far down, and I mean now CNN, CNN's a whole different ball game, and that's a WB product, and that's one that I've been screaming about on how to fix that debacle. But we'll see what they do. But MSNBC, you have it, and I mean their main stick to get their viewership was Trump. Okay, that was their whole stick. And then when they got Biden in there, they couldn't go after Biden because why? He's the liberal guy that we wanted in there. Now, I mean, if they could have, they could turn this on its head if they went after Biden. I mean, they could really do some damage, but they won't do it because they're in bed with this administration and this stuff. You can see it. I mean, they
besides a stiff breeze will blow over Biden, they can't go after Biden.
No.
Give them some stairs.
They showed their cards. Now they're having to live by their cards, and it's just destroying their company.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the problem. If you do things truthfully, and I mean truthfully, you're going to have your people. It's just like Fox. Fox, the minute they pulled back and they showed how contempt they were with the debacle with Tucker Carlson, it showed that they were so two-faced that nobody trusts them, and their viewership tanked. I mean how
Fox got through for so long, I don't understand, because it's not like if you must not know who owns them, right? There's like 6 companies that run all the media or some shit.
Disney did not get Fox News.
No.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Okay, no.
That's
it
fair.
was still what is his name? I can't think of his name. He kept Fox News away from Disney. When he made the deal to sell Fox to Disney, they didn't get Fox News.
But then they put Paul Ryan. They put Paul Ryan in there. And,
what I'm saying is
that's what happened. Rhino got in charge.
The reason they did that was real simple. If they would have got Fox News, the Supreme Court would have come down. The courts would have come down saying that Disney had become a monopoly.
Well, they are a monopoly, though.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
No, okay. Technically, not.
They're technically. Not even technically. They're not. Not yet.
Okay.
This is what's blocking. This is what the government's looking at that deal with Warner Brothers, because then it would be a monopoly.
Yeah.
And see, Warner Brothers, there was, and I actually said this, go get Paramount. I said go get Paramount because it's real simple. That it gave us Star Trek. Paramount would have gave Warner
Whatever's
Brothers
left of it.
No. You gotta understand something. Okay, I'm talking IPs here.
Yeah.
And this is the key things. This is what I sent. This is my letter that I sent to Warner Brothers. Number one, I said go get Paramount. I said Paramount would give us two things. It would give us Star Trek. It would also give us an ability to go and get the rights to Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. Not only that, it would give us the rights to WWE. Now I get all that put on the Max when I've already got AEW and everything. I've got every wrestling that's important in the United States and North America. I got everybody tuning into that on their pay-per-views. Billions of dollars coming in quick. Now I got sci-fi. I got Dune. I got Flash Gordon. I got Buck Rogers. I got Star Trek. I can go after Star Wars. I can crush Star Wars. I can destroy Star Wars. Now, you really want to get technical, I'll go over to Hasbro and buy D&D. Just D&D, not Wizards of the Coast, not Magic the Gathering, just D&D properties. What does that give me? That gives me movies, cartoons, books, anime, comic books, and everything like that. I can revamp all of D&D, revamp it with DC Comics, put out comic books and everything like that. I'm making more billions of dollars. It's a win-win situation. Now, if they're going to do that, I don't know. But that's my letter.
How the hell WotC and Hasbro have dropped the ball so hard on D&D is, I mean, it would be laughable if it wasn't so sad, you know?
Dude, this is I could not believe what Hasbro has done to D&D. I could not. This is why I was so adamant about going. I mean,
it's a money printing machine, and they can't do it.
David Zaslav to go get it because why? Here's it's taking 2 years between seasons of House of the Dragon, correct? Just play with me. I got D&D. I got another series I can put right between House of the Dragon and season 2 or season 3. I got D&D season 1. I got D&D season 2. I can flip-flop both of them all the way through. So you're always getting that kind of entertainment.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Everything that I proposed was a win-win. Now,
and that last D&D movie was actually pretty decent. They can make a series out of that easy.
I would not have done that movie at all. You know why? Because if you go Google the D&D South American commercial and watch that. Okay.
Oh, well, I've seen it. Yeah.
They didn't even spend.
That's the best live action version of D&D I've ever seen.
$2 million on that production. It looks better than anything they put out on the theater.
Better than anything.
I mean, they had the kids 100% correct. They had Dungeon Master 100% correct.
Oh,
they had Avenger 100% correct. And they had Tiamat 100% correct.
Tiamat was awesome.
I mean, for a car commercial?
Yeah.
Come on.
If you can do this for a car commercial, you can do this for a series, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what everybody said too. All of us.
I put that on HBO Max with that quality, that kind of casting like that. It's everybody in the kitchen sink will be tuning in. Everybody will be tuning in for that show.
Yep. At least to check it out. Yeah. And then if the story can hold them, then yeah.
If it turns out good, I mean, come on. Yes, we got dragons in House of Dragon, but freaking Tiamat. I mean, the legend of Tiamat. I mean, Tiamat. I'm not even going D&D. Tiamat is the oldest dragon in history. It predates any other dragon. It goes all the way back to Babylonian mythology. If you didn't know that, that's where Tiamat comes from.
Yes.
Tiamat, basically, if you want to know how big Tiamat is, it's real simple. She got wounded, curled up in a ball, and went to sleep, and now she's the earth. That's Babylonian mythology.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how big
monsters.
That's how big Tiamat is. There ain't nothing bigger than Tiamat. I'm sorry, there ain't nothing. Godzilla ain't got a snowball's chance against Tiamat. But I'm saying, when investors look at things, look at properties, look at IPs, and we send our suggestions in on what needs to be done. They take some, they don't take some, but it happens, I mean, I sent mine was like 48 pages of stuff I wanted done. And yes, I wanted a complete overhaul of DC Comics as well. I mean, I really went into DC Comics and ripped into that debacle. But, you know, I laid it all on the line. Now, for them to actually pull off anything that I want to be done, it's going to take a couple of years to get it all fixed. But at least they're trying to fix things.
Let me go ahead and we'll put a caboose on this. I try to just do 1 hour show. But I mean, we could go into this for a couple hours. Bottom line is they've lost control of the narrative. It's being crowdsourced now. Information's being crowdsourced, and so they're trying to make GamerGate 2, and it's not going to work this time because they don't have the press locked down anymore.
It's already falling apart.
And so, I mean, good luck on that, but it's already falling apart. Yeah. People have already looked past, Sweet Baby Ink, which was what they were using as their, as their straw man, and have already gone straight to these gaming companies that have just been infiltrated and destroyed from within. And so that narrative is already breaking down already because of citizen journalism. So
it was that one.
And so that's what's next.
It was that one game that did it, and I'll tell you how that one game resonated all the way back to the CEO of Warner Brothers, and he blew a gasket.
Yeah,
and that's when it all fell apart. So,
Suicide Squad versus the Justice League is probably going to be the death knell. For woke.
Sorry, James, but I'm going to laugh at that.
No, go right ahead.
Wait a minute. Were you saying that it was the shareholders' fault? Are you a shareholder of Warner Brothers? Were you just saying that?
No. This was not the shareholders' fault on this game. Let me explain something. On this game, when it crashed and burned, the information went all the way to Zaslav. And during the meeting, he actually brought the game up by name. He was so pissed. Okay. CEOs do not bring up stuff like a video game and be upset about it as much as he was. I've never seen that at a year-end meeting. I have never seen him blow his top so much about that video game. He was furious. And I'm sitting there going like, well, you're the one that okayed it. You're the one that did it. It's on you.
You hired the people that let it go through.
And the thing about it is and there's a lot of things that I can see and I'll defend him on, but there's some stuff that he has screwed up on. Yeah. And I don't mix words, and he knows I don't mix words.
And you know what? You can talk about it. You can go on on the net.
I can talk about
it.
It. Yeah. I can talk about it. There's certain things I can't talk about, but there's a lot of things I can talk about. And when
you ask him to stop making Batman movies and like concentrate on a different hero, that would be cool.
There you go.
Well,
not that I hate Batman.
That Batman movie sucked.
I'm going to say this about Batman
really
right now.
bad.
That is the golden goose for right now.
Oh,
Batman
I believe it.
Is the golden goose. No, I'm saying Batman is the golden goose for movies. Batman is the golden goose for cartoons. Batman is the golden goose for video games. Batman is the golden goose for comic books. I am sorry to say it, but Batman is the driving force behind everything. I mean, he really is. I mean, Superman, they're trying to push Superman in front of Batman. They really are. It's just Batman's Batman. That's all there to it.
Well, because he doesn't feel dangerous enough for people, They think of him as the Boy Scout and stuff.
Yeah.
And morality doesn't have
they can't identify with being Superman, but they can identify with being Batman. So
that's the thing. But yeah, I agree. Guys, I'm gonna have to take off because my dog wants to.
No problem. I'll see you, James. All right, see you, James.
Nice meeting you
later, man. But we're just gonna put a caboose on this anyway. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to the fluffiest chat and all of you too, and thank you, Aaron, for showing up and contributing when we let you.
Thanks for letting me know.
Anyway, from your dungeon, appreciate it. And that's bottom line is what's next, guys. What's next? What's coming? What's coming is citizen journalism. As is taking the narrative out of the hands of the very few and giving it to the people. And
well, and you have to have enough discernment to know the good sources, and
the good sources
you have
from
to
the
know
bad.
where to find them. You know,
Yeah.
it's a rare thing to know exactly who gives you the best and most accurate stuff right away.
Well, a rule of thumb is if you see a huge amount of the same sources reporting on the same thing, they're chasing an algorithm. Okay. And
Right.
so what I do is I go through and I see all these videos in my feed, and I look through and see something new. And usually that new comes from Clownfish TV. They really do some legitimate reporting, and they're reporting
I
on
like
something.
Clownfish. Yeah.
Yeah, last night they reported on the fact that they're using this GamerGate threat to push through legislation right now that is very, very terrifying. Talking about basically ripping social media platforms out of the people's hands, and if they don't moderate content well enough. And they're using GamerGate as their puppet to do it. AOC is the one that's like pushing this narrative. And so,
great. Out of that think tank. Woo.
Yeah, exactly. That think tank, right? Misnomer there. But yeah, so I mean, just pay attention, ear to the ground, and I'd go to Film Threat. They got some exposés, and they've got inside information, and they have been dead on everything that they've reported so far. Alan Ing over there is doing some incredible things. So I
don't
pay
go to
attention
Mike
them.
Zero. Okay,
No,
don't go to Mike Zero.
No.
Kathleen Kennedy's almost out the door. Sorry.
Right. Or Doomcock.
I can't watch
Kathleen
him anymore.
Kathleen
Or
Kennedy
the
again.
MCU. Okay.
No.
Star Wars is dead.
No.
All right.
Well, and Demion, I watched Demion on gaming news. Demion's pretty good, and Despereau that's a really insightful commentary, and Critical Drinker.
Right.
I like Critical Drinker stuff, but
I do like Critical.
But basically, just pay attention to if you're here, these guys will tell you. I pay attention to the people that tell me stuff before it happens, not people that are doing it while it's happening.
That's true.
People that do things. People are telling me while it's happening, then I just go ahead and say, okay, well, you're chasing an algorithm, man. This is algorithm's being pushed right now. But anyway, but they don't have control of the narrative anymore. Even these people that are behind it and are just chasing the algorithm, that's news that we wouldn't have gotten before, and that's important. That's important to the future of people being informed about what's happening in the world, because the press was our eyes and ears for a long time, and now we find out that we've been blind and deaf for a while and didn't know it.
Under control.
I like Mike Zero's dartboard. Okay. I like Mike Zero's dartboard. Okay. Gotcha. Anyway, thank you, Wook. But yeah, thank you to the Fluffiest Chat and all YouTube for showing up today. And we will see you next Monday where we discuss what's next. Remember, Judex is a Bunny recommend 5-carat review. It's still available. It'll be available through April. Pick this one up. If you like classic comic characters and classic comic storytelling with a little bit of a shadow narrative touch, get this book.
Hey,
it's beautiful.
If anybody's interested on seeing more about Judex and all that, I did an interview with Global Frequency. I don't know, back in like November or something, when his campaign was more active or whatever it was. And he even shows off the gun and all that stuff. So go check out my channel.
He's no longer doing the gun, the mask, or the cape. He mentioned earlier that.
How about this? You heard about it. You can go see what it looked like.
There you go. You can see what it looked like. Yeah, before he took it down.
It's impressive. It really is.
It's very impressive. Very impressive. Neff is a genius for that stuff. But anyway, so that is pinned to the top of the chat, and as soon as I get off here, I'm going to put it in the description below. But I didn't realize it was still active. A lot of people close it out once they start.
I didn't realize either.
Yeah, it's still active till April, so he's going to take it down in April. All right, so that's been Coop for Telepathic Bunny Comics. One more comment here before we go. And yeah, there you go. People like and follow for more great content. I can't say it better. I didn't say it. He said it. There you go. He said it. All right. Anyway.
Wookiees
All right, that's been
shill.
Cooper. There you go. That's Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Follow the White Rabbit. We'll see you next rabbit hole. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.